Buckingham Palace just slapped Harry and Meghan with an official DNA ultimatum. No swab, no titles, no future in the royal line. Behind the gold leaf doors, aides swear the king's gamble could detonate 1,000 years of monarchy in a single lab test. Here's the lightning flash version. For years, baby bump rumors flickered on the internet's fringe. Odd photos, vanishing hospital records, whispers of a surrogate. The palace ignored it until internal auditors unearthed missing birth files that cracked open a succession crisis. Overnight, the crown demanded iron-clad proof that Archie and Lilibet share Windsor blood. Meghan and Harry's next move, submit a cheek swab or stonewall, will either silence every skeptic or ignite the royal family's biggest identity implosion since Edward VIII. Buckle up, the fallout could rewrite history before breakfast. 3 winters ago, whispers about Meghan's pregnancy floated around like faint perfume. Easy to dismiss, hard to forget. People noticed her baby bump seemed to morph between morning walkabouts and evening galas. Scrolling social feeds, you'd catch side-by-side photos, one showing a high, taut silhouette, the next a low round shape, all in the span of 2 days.
I will say that, like a lot of people, I saw the Getty images of the pillow dropping behind the skirt, and I thought at first they could be photoshopped, but Getty images is very reliable.
Critics half joked that her belly behaved like a faulty prop. At the time, defenders called it body shaming. Yet the internet never truly moved on. It just went quiet, waiting for receipts. Now those whispers are back at full volume, blaring through palace hallways, because staff combing archival footage claim the inconsistencies aren't just optical illusions. They're red flags. Royal births are normally documented down to the bouquet placed in the Duchess's recovery suite. For Prince George, even the attending obstetrician's fountain pen got logged in an official bulletin. But dig for Meghan's delivery file, and the paper trail supposedly evaporates. According to one longtime registrar, speaking strictly off the record, no hospital in London holds a discharge sheet under Meghan's legal name for the date publicly announced in 2019. That vacuum, aides say, forced an unprecedented audit. Medical notes, security sign-in sheets, CCTV polls, even florist invoices. The deeper they dug, the wider the gap grew. And that's when the dreaded phrase, probable surrogate, splashed across a confidential memo.
So are you saying that he's 2 weeks older? And so I thought maybe that would allow time to wean the baby away from a birth mother if a surrogate was used.
It only spiraled from there. Bloodlines aren't just a royal obsession. They're the monarchy's operating system. The crown still runs on an ancient code. Prove your lineage or lose your place. So, a missing birth ledger isn't a clerical hiccup. It's a constitutional glitch that could reorder the family tree. Imagine billions of pounds in estates and patronages shifting because one line of ink can't be substantiated. That's why King Charles reportedly summoned his private counsel for an after-hours briefing, flicked through years of scandal files, and marked this as a clear and present danger to the realm's credibility. Behind palace walls, reactions split like shattered glass. Prince William is said to be furious, pacing corridors until sunrise, convinced the Sussex saga has turned the House of Windsor into reality TV fodder. Princess Anne, never one to mince words, allegedly labeled the debacle an insult to every woman who carried a royal heir in good faith. Meanwhile, Charles straddles a knife edge, defend his son and risk the crown's integrity, or demand proof and risk tearing the family threadbare. Friends whisper the king hasn't slept a full night since the briefing. It gets worse, because silence from California only fuels the blaze. Online sleuths have launched full-blown CSI baby bump. TikTok timelines replay the squatting in stilettos clip like a Zapruder film, slowing each frame as Meghan bends with uncanny ease in her 3rd trimester. Twitter threads overlay Getty images with digital grids to show contour shifts. Instagram meme pages compare the Duchess's belly to an inflatable moon bump sold on theatrical supply sites. It's messy, sometimes cruel, but undeniably viral. And every reshare nudges neutral spectators toward the palace's question: was the public duped? Hang on, because the water gets choppier. Harry, once dubbed the rebellious spare, now finds himself in a paradox. He spent half a decade railing against palace secrecy, yet his greatest credibility test demands total transparency from him. If he truly believed everything about the pregnancies, Turning over a cheek swab could clear the fog in one afternoon. If he suspected otherwise and still protected the storyline, his reputation might never recover. Hollywood agents are sniffing the air. Netflix executives are reportedly whispering about contingency edits for future Sussex content. Deals worth tens of millions ride on whether Archie and Lilibet's lineage passes scientific muster. Keep your seatbelt fastened. The stakes rise every hour. Behind the scenes, crisis management emails read like thriller scripts. Advisors propose 3 escape hatches: immediate compliance, controlled environment testing, or outright refusal paired with a media counteroffensive. Option 1 risks an inconvenient surprise. Option 2 feels like damage control theater. Audiences won't buy it. Option 3 all but confirms suspicion in the public eye. One veteran PR guru summed it up in a leaked text. They're cornered on a chessboard with 2 moves, both checkmate. And it's not over yet. Let's game the outcomes. Scenario A. DNA proves full biological parenthood. The palace still scolds Harry and Meghan for letting rumors bloom, but the children keep their titles and public interest eventually drifts. Scenario B. Tests reveal surrogacy but confirm Harry's paternity. The monarchy may tighten rules, yet spare Archie and Lilibet's places, citing modern family realities, while historians add a thorny footnote. Scenario C. Any discrepancy beyond that, say a donor or lab error, triggers the nuclear option. Titles suspended, legal teams unleashed, and a constitutional symposium convened to rewrite succession bylaws. That possibility keeps courtiers pacing the carpet at 3 a.m. Through all this, Meghan and Harry maintain radio silence. Every tick of the clock stretches suspense into suspicion. What once felt like dignified privacy now reads as strategic evasion, and the public sense it. Headlines flip from mounting scrutiny to mounting evidence, even though proof remains elusive. Opinion polls show a sharp tilt. Neutral onlookers, tired of palace melodrama, begin siding with transparency over empathy. And if you think that's where the tension peaks, brace yourself. The next twist could reshape royal history in one lab report. Meanwhile, UK lawmakers taste a rare chance to question monarchy privilege without appearing Republican. A cross-party committee has floated the idea of codifying birth documentation for anyone in the first 6 lines to the throne, arguing national interest outweighs privacy. Constitutional scholars call it unprecedented. The palace calls it overreach. The Sussexes call it harassment, yet the proposal gathers signatures every time the couple ducks a microphone. The pressure cooker hisses louder. Amid the storm, an elderly archivist in Windsor lets slip to a journalist that he once handled an unfiled maternity chart, signed only by an anonymous OB/GYN. He claims the sheet vanished after a nighttime courier arrived from Kensington. The revelation goes viral within minutes, spawning hashtags like vanishing chart and bumpgate files. Internet detectives map hospital parking garage cameras, matching license plates to royal protection vehicles. Each breadcrumb draws thousands more eyes. The palace PR team can't plug holes fast enough. It's not just a leak, it's a tidal wave. Money pours into the frenzy. Tabloids offer 6-figure sums for high-resolution scans of ultrasound images that may not exist. A US podcast network commissions a multi-part investigative series, dangling a record-breaking ad buy. A streaming platform polls users. Would you watch a docudrama about the royal DNA mystery? Early numbers scream yes. This isn't mere gossip anymore. It's a cultural event monetized in real time, and every stakeholder has something to lose. Reputation, revenue, or the very idea of monarchy. And then comes the Ripple Nobody forecast. Quietly, archivists pull old files on Edward VIII's abdication, seeking precedent for title revocation. Legal teams dust off clauses deep in 1937 inheritance acts. Remember, the crown has weathered wars, scandals, divorces, but it's never confronted a paternity puzzle at the heart of succession in the Instagram age. If the DNA saga breaks the wrong way, the monarchy's emergency plan could eclipse anything seen since 1936. But that isn't the whole story. Because across the Atlantic, a high-powered civil rights attorney whispers about potential privacy violation lawsuits should medical data leak. If Meghan's private health history becomes collateral damage, litigation could cross oceans, dragging palace officials into American courts. Picture barristers in powdered wigs squaring off against US privacy lawyers quoting HIPAA protocols. Yes, it could get that messy, that global, that fast, and it's not over yet. Inside Frogmore Cottage, still technically royal property, staff describe a tense calm. Curtains stay drawn, lights glow past midnight, and courier bikes drop padded envelopes at the gate. Meghan reportedly screens incoming calls with a former Hollywood publicist known for crisis triage. Harry's old military mates text him loyalty pledges and cautionary emojis in the same breath. Even Tyler Perry, long rumored to be a Sussex confidant, is said to have urged absolute frankness. Privately, of course. Whether that advice sticks remains invisible behind Montecito hedges. By week's end, bookmakers slash odds on an eventual DNA release, reflecting insider bets that the Sussexes will comply under duress. Yet for every gamble, another rumor pops. Clandestine negotiations for a face-saving independent lab test, supervised by mutually agreed scientists, with results sealed until further notice. It sounds plausible, but palace sources scoff, calling it a half-step in a foolproof crisis. Momentum barrels forward anyway. Finally, an anonymous palace aide feeds one last nugget to the press. If clarity doesn't come before the year is out, constitutional advisors may advise the king to issue letters patent clarifying succession rights. Translation: permanent alteration of Archie and Lilibet's status without their parents' consent. The public reels, pundits roar, and social media timelines ignite with think pieces. No DNA, no titles. What once seemed a gossip column catchphrase now looms as official policy. And as the sun sets over Windsor's ancient ramparts, courtiers whisper the unthinkable. The monarchy might outlive scandal, but can the family survive each other? That's where we stand. One envelope, one cheek swab, one undeniable result away from either clearing two children's future or detonating a centuries-old institution from the inside. This isn't about bump conspiracies anymore. It's about whether tradition can coexist with 21st century transparency. And that answer will echo far beyond palace gates. That's a wrap on today's rundown. Thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed what you saw, hit that like button so the algorithm knows we're worth sharing. Got thoughts, hot takes, or tea we missed? Drop them in the comments. And if you're new here, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you're first in line for the next drop, and we've got plenty more juicy scoops coming your way.